Hey guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. We're gonna hop right into it today. I am inking a fan art piece of Yasha from Critical Role. I've been so excited to start making fan art of the characters that I really enjoy from the show. For those of you who don't know what Critical Role is, it is a 4-hour, sometimes longer, sometimes shorter, Dungeons & Dragons live stream that airs every Thursday on Twitch, and the cast is made up of some of the most talented voice actors and actresses that have ever graced my ears. They got everyone: Matthew Mercer, Marisha Ray, Laura Bailey, Travis Willingham, Sam Riegel, Liam O'Brien, Taliesin Jaffe, and most importantly for this episode, Ashley Johnson. It's an amazing show, and I started watching back in college on and off again until I graduated. Had no job yet, and filled my hours with a non-stop binge of the first 50 episodes or so. I was unemployed for quite a while after college, so I had plenty of time on my hands. Now I have the pleasure of watching it live with my 2 younger siblings, even when we live in completely different states now. And right before the pandemic started, I managed to snag some pretty good seats for the live show in Chicago with my little sister. The experience of being there and singing the intro song with thousands of people was a feeling that I'm never going to forget, and that I look forward to actively seeking out again in the future if I am ever so fortunate to be able to go to another one. But back to the artwork, because that's what this channel is about. I really want to do a lot of fan art videos on here, as I am hopelessly obsessed with many things and I need to vent my feelings very often, and I don't want to bother my friends and family, so I'm bothering you instead. So strap in and get ready for some very respectable discussions, hopefully, in the comment section below. So Ashley Johnson is the actress who created and portrays Yasha in game. She is a character that I feel like we are just really starting to get to know after the final season of Blind Spot, which Ashley was in, ended, and now she's able to be on the show every week. Yasha, her character, is an Aasimar barbarian who worships a deity called the Stormlord. An Aasimar is a celestial race who can bamf out angelic or demonic wings and have very close ties to a god, or an angelic being of some sort, or a demonic being of some sort. It's kind of a mixed bag, and a race that I frankly don't know a lot about, despite having played one in the past. I didn't look too far into it, and I was just sort of like, ooh, angel wings, that sounds fun. And then a barbarian is a class or job that is melee based and is pretty self-explanatory just from the name. Their abilities involve reaching out to protect people or protect something, or at least that's how it's framed in Critical Role land. And generally, they are very beefy and good at nullifying their own pain through sheer willpower. And that's where my basic explanation of Dungeons & Dragons details are going to end. Let's talk about Yasha as a character specifically. Every member of Critical Role fully embodies and breathes life into the characters that they create, and Yasha is absolutely no exception at all. Every single person in the show just demonstrates the full impact of their acting abilities in every single episode, like whether they're shopping and goofing off, or, fighting a demon that possessed their best friend, and all this really dramatic stuff happening. But that's, so much going on. So from this point on, there is going to be spoilers. So if you haven't seen it yet, I'm just going to warn you now. This is a large portion of my feelings all the way up to episode 111, but mostly episode 109, because we will be drawing her as she's described in that episode, including her cool new tattoo that took me a while to translate from the Icelandic word for orphan maker into Nordic runes, and I feel like there's a few mistakes because Google Translate is just never accurate. So I highly recommend, for more background or anything, watch the show or go read the wiki. The wiki goes so far in depth, and people worked really hard to make it, and that's where I got a good bit of my information, because remembering names is just not my forte. But yeah, let's jump in to some bits about Yasha and why her backstory is just so painful and also vague and not really well known. She doesn't even know a good chunk of her backstory. And we're sort of uncovering things as the story develops. So yeah. Alright, so Yasha grew up in the land of Xhorhas, which is not the country that we start the story in at all. It is the enemy country of the Dwendalian Empire, where we start out and we meet her with a man named Mollymauk Tealeaf. And she works as a bodyguard or a bouncer at a circus with him, and it's just so humorous how we meet her, and she's like, I'm really strong, and she's a very quiet character, but we learn that she had a very rough upbringing. She fought other kids to the death and had a sort of rough and tumble out in the middle of the wastes of Xhorhas, just with her tribe, and she falls in love with this woman named Zuala, and that's against tribe rules, so they, sentence them both to death, as you do. Of course, Yasha runs away at the last minute and leaves her wife basically to die. Something happens, there's just like several months of missing memory, and then she finds Mollymauk Tealeaf, joins the circus, meets the rest of the crew of Mighty Nein, and begins the whole adventure. And we learn later that the reason why she has 7 months of missing memory is because a demon named Oban basically possesses her or does a mind control thing on her, and she goes on a bloody rampaging massacre. We have no confirmation as to what exactly happened or who exactly was killed. We have no clue if her wife is dead or alive. I think she definitely is. I mean, there's a lot of alluding to, like, yes, she is dead, especially most recently when she finally breaks her bond with Oban and, says goodbye to her wife, and her wife says that she's proud of her, and there's this whole, it was so emotional, and she gets her angel wings instead of her torn and tattered demon wings. There's just so much going on. So we've had quite a leap in development, but it's been a very rough, bumpy road, especially because she gets kidnapped with some other party members at the beginning, and then that mostly coincides with things with Blind Spot happening for Ashley, and then again we find Oban later on, and then Mollymauk dies. I said there would be spoilers, so he dies pretty early on, and then, oh boy, this most recent episode, oh gosh. You kind of find out that he's not dead, and he's very much just trouncing around in the north, so that's fun. But yeah, so Yasha, back on Yasha, gosh. She gets possessed again by Oban and goes on an even, a cross-country bloodbath with him commanding her every movement, and it's just this terrible emotional situation for the rest of the cast, who's lost, one of their main friends, and characters are definitely devastated, and they're trying desperately to find her, but they also need a broker peace, and there's just so much going on in this entire show. It's so hard to explain in just 16 minutes here, but gosh, she has had just the worst time going. So many of these characters are just they have these wonderful, uplifting, humorous moments, and then they just sort of gut punch you with emotional backgrounds and baggage, and you just don't know how to process them. So you make a YouTube video and you draw some fan art and you record it all and you put it together, and here we are. But yeah, so we're finally getting to know her now that everything's broken. She's not under his control. He's dead. He's a pile of goop. But, we've said goodbye to your wife, you got your celestial wings back, things should be going pretty well, and to mark the occasion of this whole situation and being able to fly with her wings again, she gets a tattoo, and that is what we are painting in here. And I was so excited to break out my metallic paints and be able to actually use the gemstones, because magical tattoos in this D&D campaign are made of crushed gemstones that actually give magical buffs to the character. So she got more fortitude and more constitution with this lovely green tattoo, and it has vines, and it's a picture of beauty, as Matthew puts it. It just seems like we're getting to a point where we not only know her, she's coming out of it, she's developing beyond some terrible dice rolls, and is just I just can't wait to see where she's going to go. And it seems like she's coming out of her shell, and I can't wait to draw another fan art of her later and give a progress update and my feelings about her. But she's one of my favorite characters, and there's just not a lot that we know about her and not a lot that she knows about herself, so it's a little hard to describe, but she's had such a terrible time. But I hope that we get to see a lot more of her soon. But yeah, I have so many questions about her character and where she's going to go. Like, so many things have happened. What happened during those 7 months that she doesn't remember? Like, why is she collecting flowers specifically for her wife in this book? Like, what? I mean, it's really cute, don't get me wrong. It's so cute. But I'm like, why? What is the reasoning behind that? Did I miss an explanation? Somebody please tell me. It's so cute, but I just want to know why. And then why is, we just found out that her hair used to be white, and then it turned black when she was possessed, or still under the influence, or still had the potential to be possessed by Oban. And now Caduceus, one of the other characters, noticed that her hair is growing back into white again, and that's why I made her roots white in this painting. And I'm just like, what is happening? What's going on? It's so cool and so interesting, but I'm also so confused, and I just need more explanation, and I can't wait to see where everything's gonna go from here. So yeah, I want to do more fan art in the future, and especially again of Yasha, because this painting for a good portion of it was just so ugly to me. Not Yasha was great, but the background, I'm just terrible at backgrounds, and now I'm trying to figure things out. And the clouds went well. I think the clouds turned out really great. I really enjoyed getting a lot of satisfaction out of peeling off the blocker off the page so that you can see how white the lightning is underneath. That was so fun. And drawing in every single blade of grass with a series of pens from my bullet journal collection was so time consuming. I think there's 2 minutes of 2000% speed footage of me just creating every blade of grass on those hills. But yeah, I hope to get better at backgrounds, and I want to paint Yasha again really bad, because it was kind of ugly, and then it turned out okay, and I think it's okay now, but I'm just I want to have a better process of how to paint her, and I want to show her full face, because I don't show any of her face in this, just her tattoo, because that was my objective here. But yeah, thank you so much for joining me again. And next week we have Inktober going on, and I'm so very excited for that. I'm going to be doing the full challenge this year. I've never done it before. I'm so excited. So go follow me on Instagram at RazelDazzle. Go follow me on Twitter, get all of my updates. And then next week we will be experimenting with gouache, and I'm so excited to start doing this. I've been trying to work ahead on a lot of my artwork to not burn out. I had a small burnout yesterday, which is why this video is up a day late, and I'm so glad that I got it finally recorded. There's been so much construction going on. I'm so happy that, I got it done and it's out here, and we got so many more to go. So if you have any recommendations of artwork that you want to see, if you have any characters that you think I might enjoy and might enjoy painting, or you want to see me paint, go ahead, leave me a comment down below, send me a DM on Instagram, and just let me know what you want to see. I want this channel to be full of things that you guys enjoy and that future, viewers enjoy. And I don't want it to just be me rambling on for 16 minutes about Yasha. And I mean, I definitely do, don't get me wrong, but I want to make content that you guys enjoy and want to see, instead of me just coming up with random stuff. But yeah, so let me know, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye for now.